So I'm not sitting here saying that anybody could be a Michael Jordan. What I am saying is not everybody has to fucking play basketball. You can be the best at whatever it is you want to do. You could probably even create your own field or platform or area of expertise that you can just be the best in.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Hey, Mark.
Hey, Mark.
Hey, Mark.
Hey, Mark.
Hey, Mark.
Hey, Mark. Hey, Mark.
What is going on? What's up? I hope everyone's doing well today. Welcome to another episode of Hey Mark, the podcast where I, Mark, get to have open and authentic conversations about things like mental health, self-development, the struggles that we go through on a daily basis, maybe in your work life, your personal life, your home life, your love life, whatever it may be. I just want to have these conversations and start them up because, you listening, I want you to understand that you are not alone no matter what it is that you're going through, no matter what thoughts are going through your head or what it is. Life can and will get better for you, and you're not alone. And that's kind of the message that I want to send home. And so today I'm just going to jump right into it. That's the intro, and I wanted to talk about a post that somebody had sent me on Instagram today. So if you're listening to the podcast version of this, go and check out my Instagram. It's in the description, whether you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, whatever it is. It's at Mark D. Henriksen. The spelling's a little bit weird, so if you're watching the YouTube version, it's going to be right down here at the bottom. And then if you listen to the podcast, it'll be in the description. But yeah, I had someone send me a post on Instagram today, and I wanted to talk about it with you guys because it really hit hard for me. And so this post was a description of a study that went on a long time ago, clearly, because it's absolutely sick and twisted, but the study did reveal a couple of really cool things. So bear with me. I'm not in favor of this kind of study, obviously, but I am in favor of what it's actually speaking about or trying to prove. And so, like I said, it's a little bit disturbing, a little bit gross the way that they did this study. If you are somebody that cares a lot about animals and you don't want to hear about them suffering, then this might not be the episode for you, but I'm going to just jump right into it because I think it's important to just talk about this, and maybe you'll see why. So essentially this study went a little bit like this. These scientists took a bunch of lab rats or mice, whatever it was, and they put them in like little cups of water or containers of water, essentially to test out their willpower on how long they would just sit there and tread water until they would give up. And so the first time that these scientists would drop these rats into the water, they lasted about 15 minutes before their bodies just gave up and they started to drown. And then the scientists would pull them out and then put them obviously on some solid dry land, give them some food, some water, let them calm down a little bit. And obviously, like I said, I'm not in favor of these types of things, but after that, they had put the rats, the mice back into the water for a second attempt. And so, like I said, the first attempt, these rats or mice, they were sitting in the water and they're probably sitting there thinking like, I don't know how long I can last. I don't think I'm going to make it. And then after about 15 minutes of suffering, their bodies just gave out and they started to drown, obviously. But the second attempt looked a little bit different. Now, I had my predictions because obviously they'd be a little bit fatigued and exhausted from the first attempt. So I was thinking maybe the second time would be a little bit shorter. But that actually wasn't the case. The second attempt that these lab rats or mice got to make, swimming in this water as long as they possibly could, their time was extended by quite a bit. And it wasn't just a small amount, like 5, 10, or 15 minutes longer. Supposedly, the second attempt that these lab rats had made, they lasted swimming in this water for about 60 hours. Not 60 minutes, 60 hours, which obviously is more than a couple days. So I don't think that these lab rats or mice or whatever were on the same kind of performance-enhancing drugs that we see Olympians or professional athletes take. I think these lab rats, like what happened in their brain and what this scientific study produced, the outcome of this study had proved that the second attempt that they had, these lab rats or mice, they weren't going in blind. right? The first attempt, they had no idea what was going on, and they had no hope that anyone was going to come and help them. So they were sitting there treading water, and when they realized that their situation wasn't changing at all and nothing was really, happening, they were just sitting there treading water. There was no apparent change for them. They had given up hope, and because mentally they had given up hope, physically their bodies had given up as well. Now the second attempt, after being saved by somebody in this water, when these rats or mice were dropped into the glasses of water, they had this predisposition that, once they were dropped in, they would be taken care of. And if things got really, really bad, no matter what, if they had just kept pushing, one more second for obviously a lot of seconds, someone might come and help me. Things will get better for me. And that hope that they had was not just, that their lives or situations could or would get better, but that maybe someone would come around to help them out if they had held out long enough. And maybe they just had hope that at the very least, if they kept pushing, they'd just be able to survive. And the reason that I wanted to share this with you guys, the reason that it hit me so hard is because, it just goes to show what a significant difference it makes when you actually believe that if you just keep working or you just keep pushing or you just hold out a little bit longer, you'll be able to survive. And someone might be able to help you out. And maybe your situation or your life could or would actually get better if you just keep pushing. It's the difference between making it for 15 more minutes or for 60 more hours. And, a lot of people, they claim that maybe they're not the best salesman or salesperson, I guess is the better term to use. A lot of people convince themselves, and they've told me in the past, I'm just not really a good salesperson, or I'm not very convincing. Yet we sit here and convince ourselves these things every single day. It's the difference between I can do this and you're out of your fucking mind for thinking this is even possible. It's the difference between, I can find success, and when I do, the right people will come into my life and support me and be the ones that I'll network with. And if I tell anybody about wanting to do this, my friends, my family members, or even my coworkers, or some fucking people in the office that I don't even care about are going to spread rumors about me and call me an idiot. It's the difference between the I'm too poor, I wasn't born in the right area, I'm not the right gender, I'm not the right color of skin, I don't believe the right things. It's the difference between all of that. Maybe I don't have the right body type to do this, and maybe I can be the first person like this to do this. It's the difference between being able to push through it and not being able to make it through struggles and adversities. It's just about how we sell these situations to ourselves and what we sell ourselves on in terms of what's achievable, like I said, or what's possible to do. And so I'm not sitting here saying that anybody could be a Michael Jordan. What I am saying is not everybody has to fucking play basketball. You can be the best at whatever it is you want to do. You could probably even create your own field or platform or area of expertise that you can just be the best in. My kind of closing statements for this episode, because I think that this one, it hit hard for me. It really did hit home. So I hope that this really hits for you guys as well. I hope this shares a new perspective with you, and I hope it clicks the same way it clicked in my head and just kind of made me really understand what this study was trying to show. And I just want to share one last quote. It was a quote that I heard on my buddy Zach's podcast, Plaid Jacket Philosopher. He's been on my show multiple times. I've been on his show multiple times. I always listen to his episodes as well when I'm working out or driving to and from work. So I recommend you go and check it out. But before you do, I want to share this quote that he just had in a recent episode of his. And I think he credited his mom to this, actually. And the quote goes a little something like this. I think it was, "Be the author of your own story and write yourself a legend." And so what that really said to me, especially after hearing about this study, is, who gives a fuck what other people have written down or said as fact before when you can write your own story? You can tell yourself what you're capable of. You can tell yourself what is achievable or what's possible, because no one fucking knows what's going on in here for you. No one knows what's in your head. No one sees the same visions that you see. They don't see the same possibilities. They only hear what you say. And they only see what they perceived or what they've been told before. So instead of listening to what they say is possible, why don't you fucking go out and try it out and attempt it? And you figure out what's possible and achievable for you. And even when you do fail, because you will, take it as a lesson and not a roadblock. It's not stopping you from going down there. It's just saying, not yet. You're not ready. You need to develop some more skills. So that was a skill that I learned back working in sales, was to kind of condition myself to understand that, the word no, or when someone tells you no, the answer no, what they really are saying is not yet. They're not 100% sure yet. And so that's what your job is. Your life is made to prove other people wrong, or at least show them what is possible or what's achievable. So I hope that this episode really helped you out. This study really blew my mind, so I hope that it helped you out as well, sharing a new perspective. And if it did, if it brought you some value, if you enjoyed it or you were entertained by it at all, then please do share this with somebody that maybe needs to hear this message. Other than that, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for supporting. You are the reason I do what I do. Much love and peace out. That's all I got. Let's go, baby.